Hi, Brian's Beat on the Street, and you can see what street. 175 180 MacArthur Drive, Eversource. Now, Eversource either owns the property here in question, anywhere between 18 to 43 acres of the land, including the former Cannon Street power plant, or they lease the property. I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend like I do know. This is a fenced-in yard. It's not a fence that I'm going to climb. There's barbed wire up top. I bet that gate is ajar, but I'm not going to go through. And as you look over here, we see a big gate for some of these trucks that we see in the background to go in and out of. All right? There are two gates, in fact. I point this out to you, and I'm panning here to show you the different Eversource vehicles to prove a couple of facts. Number one, that this site, I'm talking about the site now, if you look around, this site is definitely not abandoned. We see a motorcycle over here. What else do we see? We see a car, a Jeep in the background, a little truck, and a bunch of Eversource vehicles. Obviously, it is not an abandoned property. We can say that the power station, or the former power station, is probably abandoned. But it's all encased in this fence. I'm not sure if there's fence around the harbor part over here to the side. I bring this to your attention for a couple of reasons. It is imperative now that KG Urban is out of the cleanup game for this property. It is imperative to find out who the responsible parties are for the contamination and or for cleaning up the contamination, especially when it comes to the harbor. The harbor. Because the harbor is public domain. If there are any contaminants seeping into the harbor, it needs to be remedied immediately. That stated, the rest of this property is private, protected property, protected by this fence all the way around, barbed wire on top. I can't, again, speak for what's happening on the harbor side here as far as protection, but clearly there is protection. The public is not supposed to come in here. Eversource workers are allowed to come in here with a pass. Since it's not an abandoned property and it's property that's being used by a particular company, they should clean it up, or any responsible party should clean it up when the property is not being used. Maybe they want to clean it up to sell it for a premium price, or maybe if they find a buyer, they will lower the price because that buyer will assume the responsibilities of remediating the site. I bring this to your attention because we have state representatives now firing off a letter to the Department of Environmental Protection to find out who is the responsible party. I agree, let's find out who the responsible party is, but at the same time, you take care of the harbor, but don't worry about this protected site right now. It's not necessary. I'm Brian, and this is Brian's Beat.